Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Marvel Contest of Champions. And we had a bunch of big, giant announcements yesterday that happened in the MCOC live stream. It was at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or Standard Time, or here on the East Coast, it was on at 1300 Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to talk about everything. We got a lot to go over. There's 25 different pictures here to go over. Lots of new 7 stars. As you can see, we've got our winner for the International Women's Day rework. Lots of new update to content. All of that. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, so as you can see here, we've got our winner of the International Women's Day rework, which is going to be X23. That wasn't my choice. I put everything I had into Rogue, which we didn't get. So here we are. Wolverine X23 is what we're getting. Hopefully they will increase the ability accuracy of her bleeds. That would be nice, and to get some more regen. But we'll have to see what they do. Maybe there's going to be unstoppables or unblockables or something in there. Maybe some prowesses thrown in. All right, next, some updates to side quest. So we've got the Prey Among the Ashes Dark Bounty quest. So we're back to bounties. We've got regular and elite dark bounties. It's a solo event to trigger the bounties to get keys, and then you use the keys to get into the side quest path and get them done. So we're going to be getting that starting next week. Each week focuses on a consistent 4 bounty target, all 12 by the 3rd week, and then we'll get rewards off of that. So I'm glad to see they're doing something a little bit different with the side quests, because the side quests have been kind of stale. So dark bounty targets. Prey Among the Ashes, so you defeat regular and elite dark bounty targets in the Prey Among the Ashes and Rise from the Ashes, and you earn bonus points if you use Saga Champs. So they're going to tell us who the Saga Champ tag champions are. We didn't really use the Saga tagged champions very much this last month, so I'm glad to see that they're bringing in some of that variety instead of the staleness. They are doing some updates to the daily super event, which starts on April 18th. So we're getting relic embers because they keep pushing relics. We don't care about that. There is going to be a boost selector, which I am for. So we'll be able to choose a couple of different boosts. That's nice. We're getting Tier 7 improved selectors for Tier 7 basic. That is massive. That is really massive. I love seeing that. 7-star 6 stones, which we can already get now. I imagine we're not going to be getting very much Tier 7 basic at all, because these are free. And then proven encounter conqueror progressions are now included. And then there's going to be pool shields from April 18th to the 25th. And we're going to talk about that in one of the last slides. Some improvements to event quest. So May, we're getting a Valiant difficulty. So nothing this month, but in May, we're getting a Valiant difficulty level to the event quest. I'm happy to see that. I want to see improved rewards for the event quest, because they have gotten stale. So it says their goal is to ensure that event quests are always relevant, a relevant piece of content for all summoners. To accomplish this, event quests will soon dynamically scale in both terms of challenge and rewards, based on a summoner's current story progression milestone and the top 30 prestige. So I'm not in the top. That's a hard one. I don't know why they're doing the top 30 prestige, but I'm glad to see we're getting a Valiant difficulty, and we're getting probably a boost to some rewards. But you can see we haven't had one since October 23rd, which is when we got the Paragon Gauntlet, and then the Thronebreaker difficulty was in January of 2023. So glad to see this coming. What about side quests? So we wanted to reduce complexity in our side quests while increasing simplicity and approachability. We feel we failed to deliver exciting gameplay loops in side quests. That is absolutely true. They have become very stale. So they say, we're cooking up some novel formats we hope will elevate side quests to new heights. They are testing them internally, but we're, to be determined, I guess. I think one of the most popular side quests they did was Treasure Island. It was the Deadpool's Treasure Island, and they need to go back to that kind of concept. That was nice. They do need to get rid of the Mysterium and the Trader's Outpost. They've done that for like 6 months now, and it is very stale. We need unique rewards in side quests, and I'm sure all of you are going to agree with me on it. Nightmare raids, I'm not a nightmare guy. I don't really do nightmares, but it sounds like we're starting a new nightmare raid next week on the 14th. They're going to remove phase modes from all fights. They're going to increase the fight timer from 3 minutes to 5 minutes. I guess that's a better thing. Turning adjustment of the Crush Penance on Apocalypse. And they're going to reduce Korg's Thorn damage, because I know that Korg was a problem. Removing Jabari Panther's Cleanse. Isn't that part of her kit, though? And remove Apocalypse's Stun into block. So, okay, and that's part of his kit, too. So they're removing things from the kit. They're trying to get people to spend money to get those raid tickets. More raid stuff. Tuning adjustment to assault roll boosts and champion pool. Adding nodes that detail champion kit changes for raid defenders. So, big changes to raids. There was big controversy with raids and Battlegrounds the last couple of weeks because of some announcements they made, and it looks like they've heard everybody and they're going because of a lot of the boycott stuff. Battlegrounds. And speaking of Battlegrounds, we've got updates for Season 27. Victory rewards are updated and scoring change reversion. So, that already happened. Season 28 is in progress. Updates to the Gladiator circuit. So they're going to have a rewards update, expand bracket size. They're going to do some matchmaking tweaks to reduced queue times. I have seen queue times go quite a bit in Gladiator circuit versus Victory circuit. Weekly ELO, so objectives, alliance event, win bonus, and brand new Radiance currency store. And we have yet to see what we're going to be able to spend on the Radiance. So what's next in future seasons? They're doing some updates to the Gladiator circuit, dynamic matching by tier, dynamic win-loss impact by tier, and then ELO decay to reduce parking, and removal of the decline or accept screen. So you're going to have to do a match probably. Replaced by an automatic match countdown. All right, finally, we're getting Act 9.2 starting next week. I love it. And there's our champ. I think she's called Lotan. And it is a corrupted Jane Foster Thor. Awesome. I'm so happy that this is coming. So we're going to be working on that as soon as it comes out. Here are a look at the completion and exploration rewards. So it looks like we're going to be getting 3 of the Tier 7 basics, which is fabulous. That's fantastic. We're getting 1 for completion and 2 for exploration. I currently almost have 3 right now as it is. I mean, we're like 10,000 shards away from having 3. And then, so on top of that, once I get those, I'll be able to rank for another champion. Looks like we're getting enough for a Titan Crystal, and we're getting a bunch of Tier 4 Catalysts and 7-star. I think they've got a list. Here's the full list right here. Completion is a 1 7-star basic, 2 Tier 4 Alphas, 5 Titans, and with the 15,000 Titans in exploration, that's a Titan Crystal. 15,000 7-star shards, which is a 7-star. A 6-star Relic, which nobody cares about. 12 Tier 3s, 12 Tier 6s, 16 25% Tier 6 class Catalyst Crystals. So those are randos. And then exploration, we're getting 2 Tier 7 basics, 2 Tier 2 alphas. So they're given the same amount of alpha catalysts for completion and exploration. 2 rank 1 to 2 rank up gems. So those are generics. 1 7-star class hero crystal, so that's an upgrade from the 15,000 7-star shards. 4 Tier 6 class catalyst selectors, that's massive. 1 6-star Nexus relic, nobody cares. 15,000 Titan shards with the 5,000 in the completion gives us a Titan crystal and 37-star Sigma stones. So that is pretty massive. Very much looking forward to that. And here's our path rewards. More Tier 6 class Catalyst crystals. More Tier 4 Alpha. Some 7-star shards, some Titan shards, some units, and some gold. So this all great stuff. Everybody in this, I think, is going to be pushing for these Tier 7 basics because that will get everybody that is on the top layer of the game to 3 rank 4 7-star. Some people have more from the gifting event, but those are the people that spent like $50,000. All right, so now we've got some news about Incursions. We're going to be getting a Dark Phoenix Incursions. Defender theme will remain. Venom and Hitmonkey bosses. Top zone rollover change every 5 days instead of every 7 days. Okay. Gold gain will be adjusted to compensate. New boss hacks will be rotated in. Older hacks will be rotated out. So not a ton of changes. It's just a new incursion. So we'll be doing that. Doesn't look like there's going to be any special rewards for it. So it'll be the standard rewards for Incursions. We've got this Alliance War Encounter Showcase, which highlights of the Sugar Pill and Decay tactics. Looks like completion of it will give 10% of a Tier 7 basic, 5 7-star Sig Stones, and 5 Deathless Sigs, which nobody cares about. And then Exploration will give 10% Tier 7 fragments. We really want those Tier 7 basics. 1 Light Essence, there's that Light Essence, 15 Deathless Sigs, nobody cares about, and 5,000 Titans. All right, Saga Champions Showcase, which goes from April 9th to May 7th, which this is a special content. We've got Mystic and Tech Paths, team of 5. They want hashtag Decay Champions. And for the rewards, it's going to be more Tier 7. So it looks like they're adding more Tier 7 basic fragments into the game itself. There's going to be a 4 to 5 Cosmic Science rank up gem, 10 7-star Deathless Sig Stones, which nobody cares about, and 5,000 7-star shards. So I'm looking forward to more of these Tier 7 basics. Then they made their announcement about Spider-Woman. We saw her already. She's going to be available April 10th in Crystals and Arena on April 17th. She is going to be immune to poison, neutralize, and power steal, which is great. She gains fury buffs when attacking, but I think she's supposed to be science, so hopefully those are not. It says buffs, so they're going to be buffs. She inflicts debilitate debuffs when gaining a buff, which is great because that means she's going to be able to probably reverse healing with the Despair Mastery. Inflicts wither when a buff expires or is nullified. That's awesome. Inflicts ensnare and fumble debuffs on a timer. That's great. So that's going to stop some of the evade stuff. And inflicts retribution on her special too. Inflicts instant shocks in different ways and inflicts a severe power sting debuffs when inflicting instant shock. So more, they gave us a little bit of her play, but we'll have to see more when she comes out next week. Lumatrix or Lumatrix is also coming out. Redeem with Light Essence. So we saw a couple of things in here that are going to give us some Light Essence. I think there's a table in here on where you can get Light Essence as well. So he's going to be immune to bleed and ruptures. So this is going to be one of the few champs that is immune to ruptures. Powerful endurance passives, evades on heavy charge. That's nice. So that's kind of like Mr. Negative does that. Gains invisibility when invading. That's like a Kitty Pryde. Inflicts tracking on opponents. That's nice. Gains Furies from their special 2. Gains Cunning to increase his crit rating and damage. And unleashes guaranteed crits at maximum Cunning. So lots of good stuff there. And this is the list of where we can get those Light Essences. So it's 12 for a 7-star. 5 for a 6-star. I think I've already got 12. Looks like we're going to be able to get them from Battlegrounds. Quantity depends on Gladiator circuit rank. Alliance War Encounter Showcase. Saga Incursions. Raids and Nightmare Raids, the Ordeal Featured Hero Arena #1 rank, which is almost impossible to do. Double track events, weekly deals, so that's for, and the Summoners Market. So those are for, these are for money, for pay to play. So I already have 12, so I'll be looking to get 12 more so that I can get him and get him awakened, and then I'll probably get him to rank 3. Announced, we're getting Galan and a few other folks as 7 stars. I mean, they talk about him. This is not really like a buff to him, but he is going to be getting his first appearance as a 7-star. It looks like somewhere around April 22nd, and then he's going to be in Crystals and Arena on May 1st. He'll be joining the Titan pool in June. So that is pretty cool. Then we've got our Dark Plume sources. This is to get your Dark Phoenix or the Phoenix update. So they just list them all out here. We're currently in the May meta event, which is in the store area. You can get 5 there. You can get some from Battlegrounds, Incursion Challenge Sector, the Double Track event, May Valiant Event Quest is going to give us 24. Deals and offers, those are all pay to play, will be 100. So I think you need 75 to get her, and then another 75 to get her awakened. But I may be wrong about that. So Phoenix Rework will be launching in May. A rework Phoenix, including a new character model, is your Saga Chase. You collect Dark Plumes. Dark Plumes will open gates in Special Quest in May. Summoners will have to defeat the Dark Phoenix boss to secure their copy of the Phoenix. 75 Dark Plumes per gate. You can earn up to 2 copies with 150. So it is 75 and 150. And that'll be a Special Quest. Okay, here's where we are going to use our pool shields. Red and Dead's discount shed. So we collect these pool shields, which we mentioned earlier, throughout the Battle Realm, and trade them in to collect valuables from Deadpool's stash. And it looks like we're going to be able to get a 7-star Red Guardian and a 7-star Deadpool. And Tier 7 basic Catalyst. There they are again. Like I said, they're introducing these more and more in different parts of the game so that people can get rank 4 7 stars. I am predicting in June, sometime before July 4th weekend and the July 4th weekend sales, we are going to be getting a new progression title. That is my prediction. Happens about every 18 months, and the last one we got was almost 18 months ago, so be looking for that. And I think this is the last announcement that they made. May 7th to May 13th, Heart of Fire, 6 powerful champions enter the 7-star roster, and they're telling us about 2 of them. One is Apocalypse, which nobody uses as a 6-star right now, so it'll be interesting to see how he fits in with the 7 stars. And we're getting a Nick Fury. That's a big deal. Everybody is going to be chasing that Nick Fury, including me. He's still a base for my rotations for a lot of content. A lot of people still use that 6-star Nick Fury because of the synergies and because there are 2 of them when you have him awakened. So that's a big deal. So lots came out. Lots was announced. And I think that's it. So, all right. If you enjoyed this video, hit a like, hit the subscribe, and I will catch everybody